Let's bring him in from Akron Children's Hospital Sports Medicine Center, our good friend through the years, Dr. Joe Congeni. And Joe, good morning. What do you have in sports medicine this morning for us?
Hey, Ray, thanks so much. It's a great time of year and so many things going on sports-wise. But one of the things we're always working on, and you know that, is our continued quest to try to make sports safer, and particularly the sport of football safer. A great game, so many great life lessons taught from football. But you know some of the concerns that perhaps are steering some young people away from playing the game. And so we're always in a quest. And, you know, we talk on this show quite a bit with your educated audience about things like rules changes that might make the game safer, and we talk about new devices that come out that might make the game safer, practice changes, new rules in practice at all different levels to try to also make the game safer. One of the things we say always in the last decade, we always say tackling technique. Oh, we'll just leave it to the coaches to do tackling technique, make technique so that tackling's safer. But in the meantime, we are on the other side trying to really reduce the amount of contact practices. I mean, you see that at the pro level, the college level, reduction of contact practice. We're all for that. Many of the head injuries and concussions that occur, upwards of 70%, occur in practice. And so the same thing gets down to our level of where we take care of kids and high schoolers. And so we've reduced the amount of contact practice. So how are these coaches supposed to teach good technique? So, Ray, you know the majority of kids who play football are the younger kids. There's 3 million or so young kids in this country, youth, that play football. There's about 1 million high school players. There's about 100,000 college players, but much of the focus is always on the college or even the pro players. So one of the techniques that came out a while back, you and I talked about it, was tackling dummies or tackling bags, devices to tackle without having to tackle other players. Hopefully that we can get away from those drills that we grew up with that really were concussion makers, like the bull in the ring or the Oklahoma drill, where people just got, the players actually had to have contact between two players. Definitely it's been proven that that was something that actually led to subconcussive blows, if not concussions themselves. And so as we eliminate contact, where are they going to learn this technique? Only on Friday night? Only on Saturdays are they going to go out there and have to tackle if they've never tackled during the week or during camp? So they've gotten more creative with these tackling devices. So I've run into a group here from Michigan recently where they are designing a device that might be more useful for the youth players and the high school players. One of the people who is actually on this, who brought it to my attention, is a local legend, a great young player here, a good friend of mine that I cared for, is a guy by the name of LaTroy Lewis. And LaTroy played at the University of Tennessee after being at Hoban. He played for the Titans and the Texans and the Raiders. He scored a touchdown for the Raiders. He's retired now. He's looking at making the game safer, and he's working on this design to make this new technique better. It's called the Elite Tackling Academy, and they have movable tackling dummies that you can actually take to the ground and teach they're teaching the hawk roll tackle technique. That's the one that we talked about a while back that Pete Carroll and Urban Meyer were using, where you get the head out of the tackle, and that by doing this repetitively over and over again with muscle memory, when they get out on the field during a game, during Friday night, during Saturday, during youth football on Sunday, that they're going to be able to make safer tackles, take the head out of the game, and reduce the amount of concussions. And so this is something that, we're looking at. It's in its earlier stages. They're introducing it more up in Michigan. We're looking at it for our kids down here in Ohio. But we, for so long, have said, let's make tackling safer. Let's try to get away from dropping the crown of the helmet and leading with the crown of the helmet. But if the first time and the only time you get out there is not in camp to do it live, but only when you're in a game situation, it's going to be very hard to make correct form tackles. And just like anything else, getting in the batter's box and hitting, in the cage over and over again, you learn muscle memory of how to hit the ball. We need to learn how to tackle. And so this technique, I think, has a lot of merit. This Elite Tackling Academy is something that I'm looking into perhaps getting a chance to work with and maybe bring to our kids so they can learn this proper technique so that when they get out on the field, yet we could still eliminate tackling each other and contact during practice of drills like Bull in the Ring that actually were, causing problems instead of helping us.
Well, Joe, that takes care of one of the problems and concerns of many coaches that I talked about because of the growing and the popularity of the flag football thing, where many areas and districts and cities are saying, okay, we're not going to do tackling or we're not going to do tackle football until age blank, whether it be 11, 12, or 13. Many coaches have told me that's concerning to them because these youngsters learning the game of football aren't learning to tackle properly. This academy could step in and help in that area.
You may be talking to the exact same population I am, Ray, is that's what a lot of people are saying. And so I'm a little torn. We don't have great science. There's research going on about this, but we don't have great science to say. So if we wait till high school before kids play at all, till 14, 15, 16, and they didn't learn tackling technique when they're younger, are they going to be okay when they go out and try to learn this game, the tackle version of this game rather than the flag version at a later time? And just like with a lot of these pandemic-related things that came up in 2020, okay, no contact, no tackling during practice, are they going to be at more risk when they're actually playing in the game? We don't know the answers to those questions, but coaches are very concerned by what they see on the field as kids start playing at a later and later date. And yet here's a way perhaps that we could teach the game properly. So it's definitely worth looking into.
No doubt about it. Joe, great information this morning. Spot on, my friend, as always. Have a good week. We'll catch up with you again next week, Joe.
Thanks, Ray. Enjoy this beautiful weather we're having in Northeast Ohio, Ray.
You as well. Dr. Joe Congeni, Sports Medicine Center, Akron Children's Hospital.